Hello again and welcome back, guys. This time we are here for the Belgian Grand Prix in 2027. Now, the first ever Belgian Grand Prix was held all the way back in 1925, and 102 years later we are here for the latest version of this track, which should bring us some very enthralling and fast racing as you go up to the highest elevation change of the track and of the calendar this year, through Rouge and into the run down to Les Combes. That is a very good overtaking opportunity. Also see some overtakes into the final two corners. It's a classic track, a track that has held a Formula 1 race every year in the calendar. So let's get forward to today's grid after an interesting qualifying. Namzar starts at the very front of this very tightly packed grid with Frank Sommerfoot in P2. It's a checkerboard of Mercedes and McLaren as the two Audi cars sandwiched between a BMW of Skittles and the Williams of Safraz up in 5th place. Rounding off your top 10 is Nubert Nunes, and down in P13 Milian Brulez, who struggled to get into Q3 for a while, and down in the bottom 4 it's a similar story of Seb, the two Ferraris, and Zanchi running us off at the back. Well, the formation lap is complete, and now all we await for is those 5 little bright red lights here in Belgium. And the race is underway immediately. Namzar covering off that McLaren of Sommerfoot as they make their way into turn 1. Namzar is still leading, but his teammate Dewald, and there's a bit of a collision, someone off track there, but it's all good. Yucatan given a 5-second penalty, and as they make their way through a Rouge, Namzar still ahead, but Dewald just keeping his foot in there as they both press on the battery as they make their way down the Kennel Straight, as they move on this straight to go down into turn 5 and 6 at that chicane. Dewald still on the inside as they make their way into Les Combes, and Namzar forced off the track. They're still side by side, getting elbows out, and Namzar still retains the lead, and up in 3rd place is still Sommerfoot. But further back, you can see on the timesheet there, your boy has lost a few places to Yucatan and Safraz. Skittles now putting the pressure on from behind. They're side by side, through they go, and your boy forced off the track by the BMW. These guys have a bit of history, and Skittles still there trying to take it around the outside of the chicane, and he does, and takes the place from your boy. He moves up. The only difference this time is that Namzar is weakened on the straight, because Dewald will have the DRS as they make their way through onto the longest straight of the circuit, probably the only place you can overtake, and Dewald makes the move very early there. He moves up into 1st, and then behind Paco Yucatan making an overtake on Safraz there, but he's not able to make the move stick. He'll have to wait till later in the lap. Yucatan now the next victim of this BMW, this one being Skittles here, trying to make a move round the outside of Radion on the gravel there for the number 6 in the BMW, the German outfit against another German outfit, but further back it is a German outfit against a British outfit, moving in to Les Combes, and it's Temil Oliwa who gets the move for a brief moment on Safraz there, but he has to yield the position as further up your boy still trying to buy his time behind these cars. Sommerfoot now has a brilliant run on the Mercedes as they make their way through on the straight. It's a lot of overtaking here, but as they go, will he get fully ahead there? No, he doesn't, and they're still side by side. Sommerfoot was off the track for a brief moment. Namzar covers it off, and into the next corner he's going to squeeze his way by on the inside, but they're still wheel to wheel as they go through this next section. Namzar trying to just squeeze him out of track, run him out of room as they make their way through sector 2. Sommerfoot switches to the inside, but he's not able to make the move, and they go down here into the next chicane, and Namzar will break away safely. Very conservative through the last couple of corners here as there's a car going into the pit lane. It's Red Bull, the very slow Red Bull in these past 2 seasons, haven't managed to find their footing after what would have been a brilliant season back in 2025 if it weren't for that last lap crash between your boy and Skittles, who's running up in P3 at the moment, so that's a pretty impressive race for him. Red Boy on softs. Yucatan, the next car to peel into the pit lane, he is going off of the soft tyres, and it looks like he's going to be pitting on hard tyres, what I can see from up there. Yes, he will be. He has a 5-second penalty which he has to serve on this lap. and that will probably mean that he will rather lose positions than gain positions on this undercut, but he goes for hard tyres, which will most likely take him to the end of the race as we cut to a move up a rouge for Monkey on Cloud. He's trying to go around the outside, or side by side with your boy on this straight, but further forward there's another move. This time it's Summerfu trying to go around the outside at Les Combes, and he gets the move on Skittles up into the podium. Summerfu now the next car into the pit lane. He is getting overtaken by a couple who have pit before, that being Delwald, and some who have not been pit into their pit stops for new tyres, that being Temiloliwa and up ahead. Delwald now trying to close up as he's right there behind both BMWs. He's overtaking Monkey on Cloud as they make their way to Eau Rouge, and even before they get to Eau Rouge, he's going to go for the move, the double pass on both BMWs here as he makes his way onto the straight, and he's also going to have DRS, so he will definitely be pulling away from both of them. But Monkey on Cloud, he's got the DRS on his teammate who does not have it. Will he be able to get a move on him into Les Combes? And he doesn't. Just about right behind his teammate as he's going to go for the ultra lunge round the outside of the bus stop chicane, and he gets the move up into P3, and Skittles finally decides to pit in for new tyres. Nams are on mediums. He'll probably be looking to go to the end on those tyres as well. Skittles had a look the other lap, but now he's closing back up to your boy. He shifts over to the inside of the line, and your boy trying to cover it off as they make their way down to the bus stop chicane, and your boy just about holding the position from the Canadian. But onto this lap is a brilliant run out of the final corner, and your boy overtaken by Skittles once again on lap 14. This time he moves down into P8. Yucatan on some very good pace right now, setting in some good lap times. He's making an overtake on the McLaren for P3. He's up into the podium when he started a bit far down. Skittles eyeing up his next opponent here as they make their way onto lap 16, but Namzar, he's coming for intermediate tyres when no one else is pitting. There isn't even rain. The rain starts to drop now, and it's a brilliant call, it seems, from Mercedes, but no one else seems to be pitting. Is that the wrong call from the Silver Arrows as Delwald has stayed out? But Namzar is looking much wetter now, and there's a collision further back, and HLP, he's out of the Grand Prix, and he's out just in that sector 1 section as they make their way through. You can see his car smoking in the background. That is a real shame for him. He had some good form in the past few races, but now everyone decides to come into pit for inters as the track looks very wet here. Could even be a case for the wet tyres, the full-on blues here, but the intermediate tyres are the favourable tyre of choice as Namzar sat right behind someone who is still on the dry tyres, and Delwald yet to pit as well. Skittles getting ahead of the McLaren here. He's up to P4 but gets a collision penalty at the same time. But Delwald now finally into the pit lane. He's already been overtaken on track by Namzar, and Yucatan, it seems like he'll also get the jump on the Mercedes as they make their way onto lap 18. Namzar gets us away. Yucatan now ahead. Skittles moving through that final corner. Delwald racing his way down the pit lane. It will be a race to the finish line between probably Safraz and Delwald now as Skittles entering turn 1, and Safraz now making his way through turn 1. He's just about ahead of the South African of this lap. He's very experienced when it comes to defence here. Safraz and Delwald right behind the world champion of 2025. He gets to the inside and they're still side by side, forcing him off the track through that second left-hander, and he goes into the chicane, still wheel to wheel, making their way down into the right-hander. Very tight braking here, and Safraz just trying to squeeze him out, making the move back up into P4. And is Safraz doing Skittles a favour here, who has a 5-second penalty, just holding up the Mercedes long enough so that Skittles can break away. He's squeezing him to the inside as they make their way down into the bus stop chicane, the final 2 corners, and it looks like Delwald will just about get the move on Safraz, and they make contact there at the final corner. Safraz picks up a 5-second penalty, and Delwald will seal the move into turn 1. It's the last lap here, and moving his way through the final 2 corners, Namzar gets another win in Formula 1. He's going to win the Belgian Grand Prix, but we are focusing now on this last lap scrap for P3 on track between Skittles and Delwald. Paco Yucatan with P2. But Delwald, can he make this last overtake on this last lap to secure P3 on track? It won't matter though, because with Skittles' 5-second penalty, that will drop him down to P4.